a huge leverage to market the Ghana Sports Act by then to the world, to attract people to invest into the fund for the development of sports. It is therefore important this bill is considered under certificate of emergency, passed to put the bill into operation for the World Cup 2026. I so support this bill, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for indulging me.
Yes, Honorable Asafwa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the report of the Committee on Youth and Sports to determine the agency of the Ghana Sports Fund. On the report of the Committee on Youth and Sports to determine the agency of the Ghana. It is clear that in this our country as we speak, when it comes to resources that are supposed to be used to fund our sporting activities, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that we have a huge challenge. Right Honorable Speaker, let me bring your mind to even the Ghana Premier League as we speak. It is one of the most unattractive sporting activities even in Africa. The growing unattractiveness is because of lack of funding. Today, in this room, if we ask ourselves how many of us can mention about 6 football clubs that plays in the Ghana Premiership or Ghana Premier League, it is going to be very difficult for us to be able to mention 6 of them. This is because funding that is supposed to be available to be able to boost morale in terms of the Ghana Premier League is unavailable. It is on that basis that we believe that we need to pass this sports fund urgently so as to make resources available for our football fraternity. Right Honorable Speaker, secondly, it is important to note that as part of our considerations, we realize that we need to be able to support our sporting activities by identifying clear strategies to be able to bring some amount of money to the pool. In so doing, the committee realized that at every point in time when Ghana has an opportunity to be able to partake in competitions or tournaments like the World Cup, there are proceeds that are given to the state to be able to develop local sports. And so we realize that it is important that we direct fully all those resources that are given to the state to be able to support the sports fund. Right Honorable Speaker, one of the critical things that we also realized was that before now, advertisement for our local sports activities, and even sometimes international, was hugely done by beverage companies. As we speak, there has been guidelines from the Food and Drugs Authority which limits the capacity in terms of these beverage companies to be able to support our sporting activities. The committee realized that it is one of the huge reasons why our football, and if you like, our sporting activities is not doing well. And so we also realized that it is going to be one of the strategies to be able to bring some amount of resources to the sports fund. And so we believe that it is urgent for us to be able to pass this bill so that our football, our sporting activities would be able to do well the way we expect it to do well. Thank you very much, all right, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute.
Thank you. Honorable
Thank you.
Members, I want to do some corrections at this level. It is rather the motion numbered 25. So the chairman was right in seconding the motion. We are now determining the agency or otherwise. Honorable members, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Then we move to the motion numbered 27, if the committee's report is ready.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I present the committee's report.
No, the motion must be moved by the Sports Minister again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I move that motion number 27 in today's order paper be taken now.
Honourable members, I say so because having determined the agency or otherwise, we don't need a procedural motion number 26. Chairman, you may now present the committee's report as second reading.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to present the committee's report on the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025. Right Honorable Speaker, I urge the Hansa Department to capture the entire report as if same have been read in its entirety. Whilst I take you to paragraph 7, observations and recommendations, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee made the following observations and recommendations during the deliberation. The committee agreed that the sports sector of the country faced underfunding challenges as a result of over-reliance on annual budgetary allocation to the ministry. This has occasioned the abandonment of some sporting disciplines, lack of sufficient funding for consistent participation in tournaments, inability to maintain and provide requisite infrastructure, and welfare challenges, particularly for retired and injured athletes. The situation is further compounded by dwindling donations and financial assistance from the private sector due to the absence of a sustainable structure for the management of such funds. The committee, therefore, Mr. Speaker, considers the establishment of a dedicated fund as a laudable step to improve the development of sports in Ghana and enhance the nation's visibility on international sports platforms. Mr. Speaker, the committee also looked at the sources of funding, and the committee noted that the sources of money for the fund include monies approved by Parliament, proceeds derived from special sports lotteries, 10% of fees and charges accruing from the Gaming Commission of Ghana from sports betting companies, as well as percentage of proceeds from tournaments and bonuses for athletes. Again, Mr. Speaker, the committee observed, however, that apart from monies approved by Parliament and the 10% of fees and charges accruing to the Gaming Commission of Ghana, which may be considered major sustainable sources of money for the fund, other sources such as percentages of gate proceeds and bonuses did not guarantee sustainable earnings for the fund. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore welcomed the dedication of 10% of the total cost of advertisement by beverage producing companies as a reliable source to attract significant financial inflows to the fund. Mr. Speaker, the review of guidelines on alcoholic beverage advertisement during the sports activities. The committee is of the considered view.
Chairman Hansa has captured it, so in conclusion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee acknowledges the funding challenges in the sports sector of the country and the negative impact the situation has on sports development generally. It is necessary, therefore, that measures are instituted to address gaps in financing the sector to favorably position our country to tap into the expanding global sports revenue pool for the well-being of the Ghanaian populace. Having carefully examined the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025, the committee recommends to the House to adopt its report and approve the enactment of the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025 in accordance with Article 106(1) of the Constitution 1992. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, we may now fully debate on the basis of the explanatory memorandum and the report of the committee. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the reports from the Youth and Sports Committee on the establishment of the Ghana Sports Fund. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that activities of gaming commission are largely through sports betting, and that previously gaming commission contributes nothing to sports. As a result, it is of the view of the committee that there should be resources from the gaming commission to support the development of sports, and that 10% of fees and charges of gaming commission should be dedicated to the sports fund. Mr. Speaker, the committee also observed that funds have been established, but you may see situations where a larger chunk of the fund is used for administrative purposes. So the commission cautioned that in the establishment of this fund, a lot of the resources should be channeled towards sports-centered outcomes rather than operations of the fund. Mr. Speaker, another source of funds that the committee looked at was cost of beverages, advertisement of beverages. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that in order to operationalize this portion of the bill, FDA regulations that forbid advertisement of alcoholic beverages as sports arenas should be looked at, and that 10% of advertisement cost should also be dedicated to this fund. Mr. Speaker, I therefore call on this House to support this bill in order to provide the needed infrastructure, support to the welfare of athletes both now and in the future, and also generally to uplift the image of sports in the country. I therefore support the report of the committee and urge the House to pass the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Asafwa.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, thank you once again for the opportunity to contribute to the report of the Committee on Youth and Sport. Right Honorable Speaker, your committee met and we discussed the relevance of establishing a sports fund bill. And in so doing, we discussed the relevance of having this bill to be able to support our sporting activities. We identified a number of sources of fund because previously, before now, the sources of fund which are dedicated to our sporting activities has always been monies that are determined from the state to be given to the Ministry of Sport. It has always been the case that this House will approve a number, or if you like, some amount of monies to the Ministry of Sport, but unfortunately, even releases has been a problem. Last year, in the year under review, that is 2025, this House approved monies to the Ministry of Sport, but the committee realized that releases were not up to the point that we were expecting that the Ministry of Sports could have been able to get. And so we realized that the identification of these sources will be able to support our sporting activities as far as our sports is concerned. Key among them was the fact that proceeds that are derived from special sports lotteries should be one of the important sources of funds for the sports fund bill. We also realize that it is important to have 10% of revenue of tax derived by the Gaming Commission from sports betting companies. Right Honorable Speaker, your committee also identified that 5% of gate proceeds derived from sports activities could also be one of the major funds for sources of funds for the sports fund bill. One of the sources was also 3% of proceeds derived from the transfer of athletes within the country and Ghanaian athletes outside the country. We also identified 10% of proceeds derived from sports competitions and tournaments. But going forward, the committee also realized that it is important that because these are monies that are not from the state or from people from within, it is important that we give all those monies to the sports fund to be able to support them. Because in 2010, I remember when we went to the South African World Cup, the amount of money that came, you could realize that the state was so much interested in the monies that were given to the state for us to be able to develop local football. Unfortunately, those monies were not given to the sports ministry to be able to work. And so the committee realized that going forward, anytime that this country is able to participate in any tournament or competition, monies that are taken from these competitions should be fully given to the sports fund to be able to support our local sporting activities. We also identified monies that accrue to the fund from investment. Your committee also identified that grants, donations, gifts, and any other voluntary contributions that are made to the fund is also one of the most important sources of funds for the fund. And so, Right Honorable Speaker, it is clear that how we used to manage our sporting activities in this country in terms of funding has always not been the best. It is on that basis that your committee decided that we should enumerate these sources of funds into the bill so that going forward this House will approve for the betterment of our sporting activities in this country. With these few words, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaib.
Speaker, I thank you sincerely for giving me this opportunity. Speaker, I start by saying that the sports here in Ghana has a multi-dimensional problem. Speaker, it's multi-dimensional in character because at every angle, there is a certain problem we would have to deal with. Speaker, I am the president of the Ghana Weightlifting Federation. And I have had the opportunity, Speaker, of also studying in sports management at the master's level in the University of Ottawa. And Speaker, fortunately for me, my thesis was on the funding gap of sports in Ghana, and then the Ghana Olympics Committee was in perspective. Speaker, I was actually the Deputy Secretary General of the Ghana Olympics Committee, and so I speak with a lot of experience, Speaker. First of all, we are talking about the budget allocation. Speaker, the Minister will tell you that the budget allocation is virtually non-existent because the amount of monies that is sent to the Ministry of Sports and Recreation for sports, Speaker, it is as if there is no money that has been sent. And Speaker, when the money is sent, in fact, when it is even allocated, the releases even become a problem. Speaker, beyond the releases, what happens is that in Ghana, there is a larger focus on one major sport to the total neglect of the other ones they call the lesser known sports. The former Minister of Sports is very much aware of what I'm talking about. There is a lot of attention on football. And Speaker, what happens to even football? All they do is to give the Ghanaian people broken hearts. Speaker, the amount of money that is allocated to football and to the neglect of the other sports, Speaker, is sad. I organized through the Weightlifting Federation of Africa championship, a youth championship. Speaker, the Minister of Sports is here. They didn't give 1 cedi. The whole government of Ghana didn't get 1 cedi to sponsor that project. The Weightlifting Federation of Africa Youth Championship. But Speaker, let them say that they are going to play Munchendi behind Parliament. What is Munchendi? Munchendi is that you be on the five aside. You will see. Speaker, you will see the amount of monies that will be lifted to go and support football. It is critical, Speaker, to also look at the other aspect of sports that has become a problem. And Speaker, let us be advised as members of Parliament that sports should be non-partisan. Sports should be non-partisan. I won an election as the president of Ghana Weightlifting Federation. The moment power changed, Speaker, you had people coming after me to remove me from my position forcefully. It is same with even football. Speaker, when we are doing well with football, it is tied to a certain political party. When, and you have to ask yourself, which competition has one ever gone to play just one game and to qualify for the World Cup? It is a process. But in Ghana, when there is a change in power, politics is politicized. Let me deal with the issues of the funding. I have also heard from my colleagues that some funding is going to come from players who will be abroad, athletes who are going to come from abroad, but they are Ghanaian, diasporan athletes. Speaker, where are they going to get the money from? I have weightlifters who are from the diaspora. Speaker, I sometimes have to personally buy tickets for them to come and perform for Mother Ghana. And you are going to take money from them. Where are you going to take the money from? Speaker, the reality is that the reality with sports, Speaker, is that we need to be more careful how we deal with all of this. Speaker, I'll give you an example. Resource allocation, like I indicated. Now, when you come to infrastructure, Speaker, the Minister of Sports will tell you, he is doing his best, whatever he is doing. Infrastructure, for even the sporting activities, they are virtually non-existent. So as I stand here today, we are in Angola for games, the youth games. Weightlifting has to be the one to export our weightlifting equipment to Angola to help them to have that competition in Angola. What it means is that if Ghana can support our athletes, can support our sports, and can bring money to Ghana for our sporting activities, we will be the beneficiaries of whatever victories they come with. But Speaker, what are we seeing? The usual things we see is that, oh, this person is in power. This person is not a product of this party. So we are going to frustrate him or her. How do we even get monies which will be constant, which will be stable, which will be properly mapped out for the training of talents? Speaker, that is virtually non-existent. I have seen that it is giving us a list of sources. And Speaker, with your permission, let me just read. It says that sources of funding, and it gives that proceeds derived from special sports lotteries. Speaker, are we looking at betting? Is that also a way to redirect the betting tax? Are we being real with this? if it is betting tax, we should say, it says 10% of fees and charges accruing from gaming commission. And then it goes on to even say that from sports betting companies. Speaker, the value is just the same. Speaker, it also goes on to say that percentages from tournaments and bonuses from athletes. How? This is not a reliable way of generating funds for our athletes. Speaker, if you go to Accra Sports Stadium and they are playing a game, even Kotoko and us, and the fees that are taken at the gates is beyond 100 cedis. Speaker, you may have the park, you may have an empty park. And even the structures from which they even collect the money. Speaker, people end up pocketing those monies. And the tickets, there are tickets that they call them what? There are tickets that when they are produced and they are supposed to be accounted for, Speaker, by the end of the day, you have those tickets accounted for. We should find a more upgraded way, have proper structures, use proper computerized forms. Let us take respectfully human beings from running sports stadia. The National Sports Authority is virtually moribund. What they do is that they give the sports stadium for entertainment activities. I've heard one that is going to be 21st. And that is going to happen. They will end up messing up the place and come and take money to say that they are going to refix the place. Speaker, I believe that we should move away from weaker policies and look at reliable sources of funding. You cannot come and say that an athlete or a footballer should go and struggle and bring you his money or the bonus that he or she has had to come and what? Contribute towards sports development. But I won't happen. It won't happen. So with all this said, like my chief whip is asking me to conclude, I conclude praying that we will really look at all of this and see the best way to develop our sports. And it should be developed from an angle of a non-partisan basis. We don't have an NDC blaster, neither do we have an MPP blaster. Speaker, with this, I thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Honourable members, I intend to put a question. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, leadership, if we can yield to the former sports minister, just the immediate passport.
Honourable Yusuf, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also make comment on the Committee on Youth and Sports for the establishment of the Ghana Sports Fund. Mr. Speaker, the biggest challenge for the sports sector is funding. And the reason why it's so is that at the sports ministry or the sports sector, we have various federations. These federations, they are more than, when I was there, they were more than 50. And all these federations have their national assignments that they do, that they are national competitions. So, for example, apart from the well-known federation like the Ghana Football Association, the Boxing Authority and the Boxing Association, the Swimming Association, or the Aquatic, or the Ghana Weightlifting, yes. We have other association or federation called Fencing, and all these associations have national teams. And these national teams, anytime they have national games, they have to prepare themselves very well so that they can compete and get medals. Apart from these national games, they also have international assignments. And in the international assignments, mostly they have to prepare so that when they go to the international level, they'll be able to represent us very well and lift our flag, because anytime they are representing Ghana, they are going to represent our flag. And that is why when they are going to go, it is important that they prepare very well. And this all boils down to money. And because of lack of resources, most ministers, and I know my senior Honorable Ayaraga has been at the sports ministry before, who mostly rely on only football. And even when it comes to football, it's only the blaster that you normally will get funding for. Because even within the football ecosystem, you have the junior under-17 national team, you have under-20 national team, you have under-23 national team, and you have the senior national team, both male and female. and even the local blaster, and all of these teams have to compete internationally. And anytime they are going to compete, there is huge challenge with funding. And because of that, it's important. When I was there as a sector minister, I initiated this process that my successor is working on it for us to be able to establish it. And that's why I support the call that we should establish this sports fund. I took a trip to Morocco in the processes of making sure that we bring this sports fund. And the sports lotteries was one of the areas, the good initiative that the Moroccan government, and that's why Morocco is now doing very well. They've established sports lotteries, and it's a specialized lotteries that is established to ensure that the proceeds that comes from this lottery for the sports is used not only for football, but all other federations. Mr. Speaker, I'm very sure that when this sports fund is passed and we manage it judiciously, our national teams from all the federations will start doing well. Mr. Speaker, apart from even participating in international team, we have challenges to do with facilities, infrastructure. Most of these federations find it very difficult to even have equipment, not to talk of even facilities. And we only have to leverage on the African Games we hosted last year to ensure that we got most of this equipment for these national teams. And that is why now we can see that most of them are now even performing, because now they have equipment to be able to do what? To be able to train with those equipment and be able to represent us very well. Mr. Speaker, the sources of funding indicated in the report, apart from the budgetary allocation, which we all know in this country that when it comes to budgetary allocation, even the releases is a problem. The most reliable one that I can say is the sports lotteries, and I want to appeal to the minister to ensure that they work very well with. He works very well with the National Sports Lotteries Authority, so that the establishments they find an innovative way of making sure that there is a lot of proceeds that will be coming through that channel. Aside that, you can't rely on the players' proceeds. You can't, because like Honorable Jerry Ahmed said, most of these international athletes in the various countries still rely on Ghana, even for their preparation. They still will write or call you, even when they are professional, for Ghana to sponsor them to be able to come, because some of them are students whilst representing us. So it's very difficult. Apart from the footballers, the rest is very difficult to get money. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this initiative and wish my successor very well in the process of getting this sports fund come into fruition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it, and the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025 is accordingly read a second time.
An act to establish the Ghana Sports Fund to provide sustainable funding for sports development in the country and sports for development, to provide for the management of the fund and for related matters.
Honourable members, the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025 is accordingly read a second time. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, may I pray that we take item number 9B on the original order paper, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me further pray that the finance minister is unavoidably he and the deputy. So, want to pray that we take the minister responsible for education should do this on his behalf, Mr. Speaker. Yes, appropriation.
Camilo. Honourable members, item numbered 9B.
An act to provide for the withdrawal of sums of money necessary to meet government expenditure for the 2026 financial year from the Consolidated Fund and other public funds and for related matters.
Honourable members, the appropriation number 2 bill 2025 is duly read for the first time and referred to the Finance Committee, referred to the Budget Committee for consideration and report. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, want to take item number 23, motion number 23 was advertised in the original order paper. So when we get that off the way, then we can, the Vice Chair, Mr. Speaker, he has signal. Speaker, I pray that we defer this and take item number 1 and 2 on the order paper, then 2. We want to lay that bill, and then we'll take item number 2 on the order paper, addendum 2.
Honourable members, at commencement of public business. Presentation of papers, item 1 on order paper, addendum 2.
Speaker, I pray that in the absence of the finance minister, the minister responsible for education should do this on his behalf.
Honourable members, the application is that the paper should be presented by the minister responsible for education.
Speaker, we are not opposed.
Minister responsible for education, have the floor.
An act to establish the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority to encourage, promote, facilitate and regulate investments into and within Ghana, to provide for the creation of an incentive framework and a transparent, predictable and facilitating environment for investment in Ghana, to facilitate investments outside Ghana by Ghanaian investors in Ghana, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, paper duly presented and it is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and reports. Honourable members, Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025 at consideration stage. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I pray that the GIPC bill you referred, if you have no objection and leadership will accept same. Mr. Speaker, if you can add the leadership of the Trade and Industry Committee to support the GIPC. Thank you.
Very well, I'll ask that the leadership of the Trade Committee join the Budget Committee. Chairman of the committee. Is the chairman of the committee around? Yes. Honourable members, clause 1. Clause 1.
Establishment of the Ghana Sports Fund.
Members, we are at consideration stage. All other honorable members standing up should resume their seat. Humbly, please resume your seat. Particularly those who are turning their back against the maize. Yes, Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, no advertised amendment.
Honourable members, no advertised amendment to clause 1. It is for your consideration. Any proposed amendments? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 1 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 1 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 2.
Objects of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 2? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I will put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 2 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 2 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 3.
Sources of monies for the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Clause 3, paragraph J. Delete and insert the following. J. 10% of the total cost of the advertisement of beverages. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the proposed amendment is for your consideration. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the proposed amendment, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. Now I'll put a question on entire clause 1 in the absence of any further amendment. Entire clause 3 in the absence of any further amendment. As many as are in favor of clause 3 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 3 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 4.
Bank account of the fund.
Chairman of the committee. Honourable members, I am to do a reverse gear to consider clause 3. So I'm back at clause 3.
Mr. Speaker, clause 3 with your leave, and I see the sponsor of the bill, the Honourable Minister for Sports. Mr. Speaker, a popular way of raising revenue for sports and recreation development. So first of all, I want to appeal to the chairman and minister, wherever you have sports, if you don't have objection, it should be sports and recreation. That is now the new nomenclature. It's not just sports and recreation development, but it's subject to. But Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to add that part of the source of funds should be sports memorabilia, the sale of it, the sale of sports memorabilia. If they have no objection, they should just add it on. For instance, the Honourable Minister for Sports, if you print out Black Stars 2026, the jersey, and you spend $10 sports memorabilia, just the sale of it can be a huge source of funding for you. Is to get somebody where you negotiate and sell the franchise to that person. So you print Ghana at World Cup 2026. If you do $10 and you sell for $15, less overhead, it can generate some money for the fund. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
So, Honourable Minister for Education, what is your rendition?
Mr. Speaker, add a new sub-clause, sale and returns from sports memorabilia. Thank you.
It is for the consideration of the House. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the amendment, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. Then I'll put a question on the entire clause 3. As many as are in favor of clause 3 standing part of the bill as amended, say aye. As many as are in favor of clause 3 as amended standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 3 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 4.
Bank account of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to the bank account of the fund? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 4 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 4 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 5.
Governing body of the fund. Application of monies of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, clause 5, with your indulgence, 5A, promote the development of infrastructure required for the training of athletes. Now, when you say athletes...
Honorable member, let's take the chairman's amendment. If there is no amendment to clause 5, then I will give you the floor to propose your amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Now I can hear you.
The Speaker is strict to his procedure and rules. Appreciated. Mr. Speaker, I'm just asking for a wider athletes. In everyday language, athletes will refer to those doing tracks. And that's why I say I want an explanation. When you say athletes, training of athletes, it can be narrowed. When you are developing infrastructure required for the training of athletes, organization of tournament, and participation in sports. Participation in sports what? Just an explanation from the sponsor or the chairman. Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, athletes rather encompasses all. So when you go to 33 under interpretation, you have athlete means an individual who participates in sports. So every sport.
Mr. Speaker, still on clause 5, with your leave, I've been discussing with the minister for...
Is the earlier proposed amendment abandoned?
Abandoned.
Thank you very much.
After his explanation. But Mr. Speaker, still on 5, application of monies of the fund, I just want him to include schools and colleges sports. Schools and colleges sports. Part of his money must be used for that because I'm in discussion with him for us to revive schools and colleges sports. So, see, grassroots school sports. So school, you won't add colleges. Or he himself calls the schools and colleges sports. Schools, okay, it's fine. Schools and, I want specific, schools and colleges sports. He knows myself and him are launching it. I even engage him to look for corporate sponsorship for it, Mr.
And there was a question whether colleges are not schools. Honourable members, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want some clarification. On clause 5A, it says promote the development. Does that mean that the fund itself cannot also decide to develop infrastructure? So I think that promotion should be different and also development of infrastructure should also be added. Because we should get to a point that the fund should be able to raise and develop its own infrastructure for the training. So not just the promotion, but at least development of infrastructure itself. I don't know the take of the minister on it. Thank you.
Well, it is for the consideration of the House. Is there really a difference? Honourable member, is there really a difference?
Yes, please, there's a difference.
Promotion, development, and
promotion has got to do with advocacy. And actual development has got to do with in the, doing it yourself. So there are two twists to it. Unless the understanding is that it is both advocating and also if that is understanding, then
my brother, if you are building an astroturf in your constituency, and it is classified as promotion and development of sports,
yes.
If they say you are developing sports, you are promoting, is there really a difference?
The Speaker, the key here is development of infrastructure required.
Yes,
infrastructure.
Yes, that is why I use the AstroTurf as an example.
But if the understanding is that it's not just the advocacy, but it's also the actual development, then I'm okay. At least it goes into the records that it's not just the promotion, but the development of it.
Very well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, maybe we should say promote or develop infrastructure required for the training of athletes, organization of tournaments, and participation in sports. Promote or develop infrastructure required for the training of athletes. Because promotion could just be, like you said, what we did yesterday by passing the Kumasi Expressway, where Ghana Infrastructure Fund sets up a special purpose vehicle. It may not have the money itself, but then can go and look for money and then develop it and then recover the investments. That is more like promoting infrastructure development.
So
but then also
we should use the conjunctive words rather than disjunctive.
So promote and
yes.
If
the understanding is that the promotion is different from the actual act, then should be a disjunctive but not conjunctive.
Mr. Speaker, alternatively, we can leave the rendition this way with the understanding that if there's ever a need for interpretation, when they come and consult the Hansard, they will be clear that we wanted to also indicate that the fund could actually directly develop the infrastructure.
Yes,
and not
because
just
it should be possible for the fund to promote and at the same time develop. They can do the two together.
So, Mr. Speaker, we could render it as promote.
Very well. I intend to refer this to the draft persons to tidy it up. So, can I put a question on clause 5? As many as are in favor of clause 5. Very well. So I'll put a question on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. Those against say no. Then the question on the entire clause 5. All those in favor of clause 5 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 5 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 6.
Governing body of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Yes.
Speaker, you see that talks about the governing body of the fund. And the people who are supposed to consist of the board or the governing body are listed. Speaker, in Ghana, apart from the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, the major institution that deals with sports, which is apolitical, is the Ghana Olympics Committee. Speaker, they are not represented here. And if you are looking at administration of sports funds, they deal with a lot of funding issues. And all federations are under the Ghana Olympics Committee. So, Speaker, I would propose that we should consider, maybe after H, have the president or the secretary general of the Ghana Olympic Committee as a member of this board, or as a member of this governing board, Speaker. I so propose, Speaker.
Yes, it is for the consideration of the House. Honorable Chairman, what do you say to this?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yes, we considered this particular proposal at the committee level, but we were of the view that the composition of the governing board will be too much. And so we decided to limit it to this number. We don't want to make the governing board so much or so many to extend that it may become problematic at decision-making level. That's why we omitted the Ghana Olympics Committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, is Ghana Olympics Committee a juristic person? The Ghana Olympics Committee, is he a juristic person? Is he a registered entity?
Yes, Speaker. They are a registered entity. And it actually comes in as a non-governmental organization. But, Speaker, they are running all the federations. Yes, it's registered. They are running all the federations, Speaker. All the federations. But you have here representative each from the ministries, not below the rank of a director, nominated by the respective ministers. The minister responsible for local government. And then you come to minister responsible for finance. Meanwhile, the sole authority that is apolitical, that runs sports, which is an umbrella that all federations are under it, is not captured. And Speaker, there are two major positions, either the chief executive officer.
Yes, so you have made your point. What I want to know is whether or not it is a registered entity or not a registered entity. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sports, athletics, they have so many associations. Sometimes there is a battle over recognition of which association is legitimate, which one is not legitimate. Mr. Speaker, if you venture into the world of identifying associations and seeking to provide seats for the associations in the governing board, we will not finish today. So, Mr. Speaker, it is safer. No, Mr. Speaker, it is safer at this stage not to be contentious, to leave the governing board to be state-based, Because you see, for instance, as we speak, do you know that GFA and its monies are not within the purview of the control of the state? Because FIFA doesn't recognize governments when it comes to football matters. Yesterday I had a heated debate with somebody. So when the money comes from a World Cup tournament, I said, World Cup tournament money is not government of Ghana money. If GFA gives some of it to government for projects. That is understandable. But strictly speaking, so there's a world of separation that the various athletics and sports associations want to establish between them and government. They don't want the commingling because they don't want governmental control and interference. So it is safer to keep them out. We raise the money and then we decide how we spend the money. So I think it is safer. Let's keep it the way that it is structured. Otherwise, each and every one of them will now come and start fighting that they must have a seat. And that will create a problem. Let's establish. As we go on, then we see how it goes.
Yes.
Speaker, I normally will agree with leader, but I think that we are not getting this clearly. Speaker, the Ghana Olympics Committee is also known as the National Olympic Committee. In every country, the National Olympic Committee is part of the governing body of any sports fund. Why am I saying so? Because they also receive some funding from other sources, including the Olympics Committee, including Commonwealth. So that whoever the sports administrator, the sports fund administrator is, will not go giving money to a federation or an association suo without clearance from the Ghana Olympic Committee. Speaker, the Ghana Olympic Committee is the umbrella under which all the federations come through. This is why you also have to even bring them there. Because if, leader, for instance, the argument is that there are federations, and these federations, the moment we put the Ghana Olympic Committee, federations will start springing up. That is actually going to stop the federations from springing up. Because you can't say we have Ghana Weightlifting Federation and Ghana Weightlifting Association. It is the Ghana Olympic Committee that will only make that determination, not even Ministry of Sports. Because they have the powers to do so. So, if the president, who is elected, or the Secretary General, who is elected by all the federation members, be a representative or the board where monies will be given out, Speaker, it is actually a better representation to check all the problems that you may face if they are not there. Speaker, I finally submit.
Yes, Minister for Sports and Recreation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, ordinarily we would have considered this as just an addition, but it is not just an addition. Like the chairman of the committee said, in the initial consideration, the draft, we had them in, but in the course of the process, it became necessary and expedient to take them out. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the regulation that we developed for the Sports Regulation 2023, the LI 2477, it made provision for Ghana Olympics Committee, and we also have National Paralympic Committee. Immediately, you begin to travel that journey, like the leader of the House indicated. You will see the NPC also begin to demand. Then you see other groups start demanding. We wanted to avoid such a situation that they stay out of the fund, run the federations in an organized manner. You have the fund that is managed and it goes in there to support them. The National Sports Authority, which superintends over all these groups, is captured in the membership of the governing board. And we think that the way it is, it serves us that purpose. So I think we should keep it this way. As we move on, we can begin to think about future additions. But for now, I beg my deputy whip to let us keep it the way it is. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is on some clarifications. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the governing body, each of them have been indicated where they are coming from or who is appointing them.
Honorable Member, are you talking about inclusion of National Olympics Committee?
No.
Or you are talking
I think
about?
my chief whip
So I indicated that at consideration stage, when an issue is being considered, until you conclude that, you don't bring another one.
Mr. Speaker, but he made an indication that he's here. That's why. Thank you.
Yes. So, Honorable Jerry Ahmed, do you still stick by your...
Speaker, I do. I do.
Very well. Honourable members, I'll have to put the question on Honourable Jerry Ahmed's amendment. All those in favor of the amendment proposed by Honourable Jerry Ahmed Shaib, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. I'll put a question again. All those in favor of Jerry's amendment, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the noes have it. The amendment is not carried. Honourable members, yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I wanted clarification on the governing body, particularly A and B, the chairperson and the administrator. If you take a look at the rest, each of them have been indicated who appoints them. But in this case, it's not clear who will be appointing the chairman or the administrator, or whether they will elect them all. So I just wanted the clarification. And whether the administrator, just like the NSA, would be an NSA professional or something. I just want that clarification because it's not too clear. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, you are right regarding the chairperson, but regarding the administrator, it's an institutional representation. So whoever is the administrator is automatically a member here. So we can tidy it up when we come to clause 6(2) by saying that the chairperson and other members shall be appointed by the president in accordance with Article.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable members, let's look at G. A representative of retired professional athletes nominated by the minister. Do we have the Retired Athletes Association? And if so, why is the minister going to do the nomination for them? Or the minister is just going to nominate a retired professional athlete? Yes, Minister.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to clarify this point. We do have retired athletes for various sports. The footballers have years. You have some boxers who have put themselves together. For various sports we have. And because we may not want to just limit it to one, we need to weigh. So the minister will have the opportunity of balancing and seeing what to exactly go for at what time to satisfy that provision.
So the rendition should be a retired professional athlete nominated by the minister.
I think we will adapt that, Mr. Speaker.
I'll put a question on that proposed amendment. As many as are in favor of that proposed amendment, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. Now, clause 6(2). The President shall, in accordance with Article 70 of the Constitution, appoint the members of the board. So, who then, how is the chairman going to be appointed?
So, Mr. Speaker, I think you proposed something earlier.
So the President shall, in accordance with Article 70 of the Constitution, appoint the chairperson and other members of the board. Does that capture?
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. All those in favor, say aye. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. Now I put a question on the entire clause 6. As many as are in favor of clause 6 as variously amended standing part of the bill, say aye. As many as are in favor of clause 6 variously amended standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 6 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 7.
Functions of the board.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of the clause 7 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 7 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 8.
Duties and liabilities of members of the board.
It appears members are not paying attention to the exercise that we are doing. Most of the members are talking on the background rather than concentrating on what we are doing. Honourable members, it's not the best. Our core function is to make law. Therefore, in the law-making process, we should be seen to be participating, but not to be doing side conversation. Clause 8.
Duties and liabilities of members of the board.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, no advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? Honourable members, in the absence of any proposed amendment, I will put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 8 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 8 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 9.
Tenure of office of members of the board.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? Honourable members, in the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 9 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 9 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 10.
Meetings of the board.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, these are standard provisions in most of the bills. The question is, as many as are in favor of clause 10 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 10 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 11.
Disclosure of interest.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Any proposed amendment? Honourable members, in the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 11 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 11 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 12.
Establishment of committees.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 12 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 12 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 13.
Allowances.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 13 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 13 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 14.
Policy directives.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 14 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 14 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 15.
Secretariat of the Fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 15? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 15 standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 15 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 16.
Appointment of administrator.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 16 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 16 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honourable member, you cannot turn your back completely to the maize. Clause 17.
Functions of the administrator.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 17 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 17 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 18.
Appointment of deputy administrator.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 18? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 18 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 18 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 19.
Functions of the deputy administrator.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, as many as are in favor of clause 19 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 19 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 20.
Secretary to the board.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 20? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 20 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 20 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 21.
Appointment of other staff.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 21? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 21 standing part of the bill say aye. As many as are in favor of clause 21 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 21 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 22.
Internal Audit Unit.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, this is a standard provision. Any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 22 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 22 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 23.
Expenses of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendments, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 23 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 23 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 24.
Exemption.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 24? In the absence of any proposed amendment to clause 24, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 24 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. Clause 24 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 25.
Accounts and audit.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 25 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 25 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 26.
Annual reports and other reports.
Chairman of the committee, clause 26.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 26 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 26 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 27.
Beneficiaries of the fund.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, please indulge me to take us back to clause 3, subclause E, I, and II. Mr. Speaker, clause 3 deals with the sources of monies for the fund. Sources of monies for the fund. The E talks about 3% of proceeds derived from the transfer of athletes within the country to sporting clubs in or outside the country. And II, Ghanaian athletes outside the country. Question is, the use of the word proceeds. What exactly do we mean by saying 3% of proceeds? Mr. Speaker, by law, any Ghanaian who earns an income is required to pay tax. When we say proceeds, are we referring to that income that athlete has earned as a result of that contract that has been executed for him to be engaged in a sporting activity for a particular club, be it in Ghana or outside Ghana? Or we are saying that being a Ghanaian, there is a certain mandatory fee that would have to accrue to a state agency, of which 3% will be deducted. Mr. Speaker, I say so because reading the memorandum accompanying the bill, there seemed to be no mention of the source of this 3E, I and II. And as much as possible, I do not think that we have to pass a law that we ourselves may not have clarity to it. And when we do that, we create problem for our courts, because the source document to guide them in interpretation becomes a problem. Mr. Speaker, and I say so because I have done a case at the Supreme Court where, when it got to a critical point, the court had to order for Hansard, and it was Hansard that guided them. In fact, they now had to go through the debates on the floor, and through the debates, reading the official report. Let me use proper parliamentary language. By going through the official report and the various contributions, they were able to get a sense of the House, and that was a key guide in interpreting the very matter that I had gone to court with. And yes, I've seen a facilitator entering the chamber. Mr. Speaker, at least for the records, Mr. Jetro, as a deputy clerk then, played a key role because they needed Hansard of Parliament within an hour. And I remember chasing him to get those.
Honorable Member Jetro is a clerk of Parliament.
No, as he then was deputy.
As he then was, he was a deputy clerk of Parliament.
That is so.
He has never been referred to as a facilitator.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, get the context.
For the record.
No, Mr. Speaker, I am saying that as a council, when the order came, he facilitated the procurement of
Well,
the
I
hands.
didn't understand it that way. You just say the facilitator.
No. I'm saying he facilitated because we had only
so
1
you
hour.
want to understand whether the proceed is the income transfer or not.
That is so. Then, based on that, I can come back
to the Minister.
Well, thank you very much, Speaker, and let me thank the Minority Leader for bringing this matter up. Transfer proceeds are one-time payments. These are not the weekly or monthly earnings of an athlete. And the laws are very clear and the records are available and verifiable. And already there's a system, Speaker, in place where the mother club benefits from the transfer proceeds. Even the FA also benefits a certain percentage. Indeed, per FIFA indication, future transfers would also bring about some benefits to even the mother club. They want to even develop a system where they can trace to the amateur club where the person began. So when we talked about transfer proceeds, we are referring to the one-time payment, which is so properly arranged, and there are beneficiary agencies or angles. It's not the every week earnings of an athlete or the every month earnings of an athlete.
Yes,
Speaker, with
the explanation, let's take the proposed amendment.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
Bear with me. They've come under certificate of agency.
Yes.
Per the report of the committee.
Yes.
So we should understand that all of us here are being rushed. So we need to patiently interrogate the issues.
I have the patience for you, and I thank God for that.
Very well.
So, Mr. you place on record that with the explanation, you will come out with an amendment. I'm reminding you that this is the explanation. What is the amendment?
Yes. So
yes.
Let me proceed with Mr. Speaker. With respect, the minister, in responding to my issue, raised two very important matters. One, the loose agreement that exists where certain deductions are made. Those agreements do not have legislative backing. So it could be a contractual agreement where, to the extent that the person has appended his signature.
Honorable Minority Leader, what you are doing is never done at the consideration stage.
Mr. Speaker, can I proceed? What you are doing now, Mr. Speaker, what we are doing now, per what the minister is proposing, is to legislate. Even if it is a one-time earning, you cannot use a legislation to make a deduction. Be it a one-time earning, the person is obliged under law to pay a tax on it. It's an earning, even if it is one time. An income tax is chargeable on sale. You cannot say that because per some other arrangement at the FA level or the club level, you want to take advantage to now legislate that a person's earning must also be charged. So therefore, there must be a percentage that must be deducted as source for same to become part of the sources of monies for the fund. I think that
it is an overreach. Since there is already a statutory obligation, if you go to GRA, this House has enacted a law that requires a person to pay, and it's even constitutional, not only statutory. It is the constitutional provision that gives Parliament the only body with a mandate to enact laws for the purpose of taxation. But what you are doing is not using this law to tax. And you are not talking about taxation, you are talking about proceeds. Mr. Speaker, having laid the foundation sufficiently on this, I beg to move therefore. At least to the best of my knowledge, I've not said that you have agreed with me. I believe that I have made my case sufficiently on this matter, and I've raised the constitutional issue to say that by law governing this country, you can only tax a person once. You cannot tax and go around again and use another legislation to say that pay
so
this.
Minority Leader, what is the proposed amendment?
Therefore,
that is why I'm telling you that what you are doing is not done
Mr.
at
Speaker,
consideration
I
stage.
have laid the foundation and the explanation to what I want to do. Therefore, I move this house that clause 3, subclause E, be deleted in its entirety. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honourable members, I'll put a question on the amendment proposed by the Minority Leader. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The noes have it. The amendment is not carried. Now clause 27.
Mr. Speaker, I know yourself, you are a football enthusiast, and I know you have a local team back in your constituency. It is not everything that the Minority Leader has said in respect of E which is out of place. Mr. Speaker, maybe we should say 3% of net proceeds. 3% of net proceeds. Let's qualify it. No, you lost. Mr. Speaker, 3% of net proceeds, because from the gross, when there is transfer, you have to make a deduction to GFA, you have to make a deduction to...
Very well, all those in favor of 3% of net proceeds, say aye. I'm putting the question. Why do you have a counter amendment?
I need to add my voice. Mr. Speaker, this posture, I beg, if you don't want us to contribute, let... Speaker, if they want to pass their bill, rush it, then let it be so. Because as if when you...
Honorable members is using the word attitude, but I believe the whole world is watching my attitude and as well as the attitude of the Minority Leader.
No problem.
So don't be worried if Minority Leader is using the word attitude. The judges are out there.
No problem. I think so. Mr. Speaker, I agree. They are judging all of us. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Harun Idrisu, the Minister of Education, has a proposal for consideration. It is my view that to the extent that that earning is taxable, this House cannot legislate.
Honorable Minority Leader, the rules are clear. You do not raise an issue that has been determined by the House.
No, but he has
that
raised...
forms the basis of your argument, and the House has taken a decision on it. So, with all due respect, kindly resume your seat. Let me put a question. The question is, as many as are in favor of the amendment proposed by the Minister for Education to make it net proceed, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is carried in clause 3. Honourable members, let's come back to clause 27. Clause 27.
Beneficiaries of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, clause 27. Yes, clause 27. In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 27, standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 27 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 28.
Application to the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, the question is as many as are in favor of clause 28, standing part of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against, yes. Honourable Ramadan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have a proposed amendment for 28.3. The rendition, the administrator shall, within 10 days. The 10 days will then now include even weekends and holidays. So if we can qualify it and say 10 working days, so that we can.
Honourable members, the Interpretation Act is clear. If it is 10 days and it is 10 working days, we know what it means. I'll put a question on clause 28. As many as are in favor of clause 28, standing part of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 28 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 29.
Disbursement of the fund.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? As many as are in favor of clause 29, standing part of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Clause 29 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 30.
Review of decision.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? As many as are in favor of clause 30, standing part of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 30 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I've been on my feet for more than 7 minutes. Mr. Speaker, we come into this chamber to respect the chair. We don't come here to disrespect the chair.
But Honourable Minority Leader, you don't insult the chair and create the impression that you are respecting the chair.
Nobody has insulted you. In all humility, nobody has insulted you. And if I have so done, I would readily apologize to you. I would not insult you. You are my senior brother. I won't do that. Mr. Speaker, there is a growing trend in this chamber. It is us in the minority who will speak about it. Bills are brought. We are hurried and rushed. We are told that this thing is being done under certificate of urgency. Yesterday, when it was introduced, we raised a concern. The committee has done a report. I am the leader of my side. This is the first time I am seeing this. When I was majority leader, at least the practice then was that ministers would give the bills to leaders to peruse even before their table. Ask Honorable Kofi Adams. We have a very good working relationship. Ask him whether he has ferried this bill, at least to me. I am seeing it the first time. I have issues. When you are making a point and you are being rushed, Honorable Harun Edrusa has been a leader before. We work together. He knows. Let us be sometimes very fair. Honorable Kofi Adams, he knows me. You have an important bill. You don't engage. You come in and then you say certificate of urgency. We want to interrogate issues, and as if you want to obstruct government business, you want to frustrate it. Mr. Speaker, it doesn't work. And I will say it. I will never disrespect you. But what we are doing in this chamber does not help the cause of democracy. What is the rush? Where are we rushing to? What is the urgency? If the minister knows that this thing is urgent, all this while, so why do you come within 24 hours? You say because a lot of changes were done at Winnowing. It is presumed that nothing can be raised. Mr. Speaker, no. The matter I raised, Mr. Speaker, with respect, if you want to stop me, I would put off my mic and sit down. I won't challenge you.
Yes.
You want to stop me?
Yes.
Very well.
Yes. Honorable members, we are all human beings. We have done up to clause 20 something. You know the rules. If a question is put on a clause, though a consideration, the rules are relaxed. You came and you took me back from clause 20 something to clause 3. And when you took me to clause 3, magnanimously, I allow you, bending all the rules in your favor. Now, what we do at consideration stage is you look at the provision. If you disagree, you propose an amendment. But you came saying you are seeking for a clarity. The minister should clarify for you. The minister has clarified. You have rightly indicated that based on the clarification, you want to propose an amendment. Instead of proposing an amendment, you engage in an argument. Honorable members, then you are saying, I am putting up an attitude. I took offense from the use of the word attitude. And I think I have not done anything negative towards you. And indulging you to take me from clause 20 something to clause 3, is that the attitude that I have shown to you? And you claim to be showing me a respect? I don't consider that to be a respect. I don't consider that to be a respect to the chair. You cannot be insulting me in disguise and claim you are respecting me. It is not done anywhere. That is why I place on record that Ghanaians should look at my attitude as well as your attitude in this chamber. And you can come into a conclusion. Yes, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, from what you've just said, the impression I gather is that the use of the word attitude referring to the general trend in how things are rushed in this chamber was as though it was directed at you personally. That was not the intent. If in the construction it came across as such, then I withdraw it. Because you are the presiding officer. My duty is to protect you by showing you respect.
We add an apology to it.
Very well. That would help. Mr. Speaker, if that impression was created, then please find a place in your heart to let it go.
Thank you very much.
However, Mr. Speaker, I believe that you got the trust of my submission to the effect that as parliamentarians, we need sufficient time to peruse matters. Mr. Speaker, recently, as recent as last 2 weeks, my eyes were open to this AI technology that is taking over matters. And whereas in other parliaments they have access to this technology to aid them, we don't have it. So I would want to also appeal through the chair to my colleagues opposite me that the approach in handling government business should be said that it should offer all of us the opportunity to peruse matters properly so that we don't get a backlash, or so that when we make laws, we pass laws, it gets out there to stand the test of time. this particular situation where the bill was referred yesterday, certificate of urgency, and then we are rushing it through, Mr. Speaker, is quite problematic. I just want to register that consent. I rest my case.
Well, honorable members, this whole thing started yesterday when the minister indicated that he wants the bill to be considered under certificate of urgency. Then the indication was that the minister doesn't have a right to say so. And I have to refer the House to Standing Order 160 as well as Article 106, that it is pursuant to that indication that I can refer the bill to the committee to consider the urgency or otherwise of the bill. The committee is made up of members from both sides. The committee brought a unanimous report, and everybody that spoke to the determination of the urgency or otherwise were all in favor of the bill being taken under a certificate of urgency. I put a question on the motion number 25. The motion was carried by the House. It was after that I moved the bill to a consideration stage. Now, when the bill was being withdrawn yesterday, the explanation was that the committee met, considered the bill, proffer amendments. The amendments were a lot. Therefore, they refer the matter back to the Aegis Department to integrate the amendments of the committee into the bill. So they were withdrawing and relaying the bill. Honourable members, this bill has been with us for some time. So any member who studies the bill may not come arguing. You have formed your opinion, you want to proffer amendment for a designated clauses, and when you come at consideration stage, particularly in a period like this, you go straight and propose your amendment, and then we'll put the question on the amendment, and the House will then take decision based on the amendment. That is what we do. But if you want to argue instead of proposing amendment for consideration of the House, I would have a problem, because I do not know that is what we are supposed to do at a consideration stage. So, honourable members, let's make progress. Clause 31.
Collaboration with National Lottery Authority.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Yes. Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was hoping to catch your eye to indulge you to bring us to 27, so that, with your indulgence, if I may.
Honourable member, I won't put up that reverse gear.
Mr. Speaker,
I've seen some attempts here. I was on clause 27, I moved to 28, 29, 30. I'm now at 31. You can do a second consideration. Any proposed amendment to clause 31? Honourable members, in the absence of any proposed amendment to clause 31, the question is, as many as are in favor of clause 31 standing part of the bill, say aye. Yes. Minister for Education.
Mr. Speaker, clause 31, special sports lotteries for sports development. You don't need to qualify with for purposes of sports development. It's just a question to the chair. Thank you.
The proposed amendment is for the consideration of the House. So your rendition will be to delete for the purpose. So give us the new rendition.
Just, Mr. Speaker, after for add purposes, for purposes of sports development. But it does no harm though.
I'll put a question.
Thank you.
As many as are in favor of the amendment proposed by the minister responsible for education say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is carried. Honourable members, I'll put a question on entire clause 31. As many as are in favor of clause 31 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 31 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 32.
Regulations.
Chairman of the committee, yes.
No advertised amendments.
It is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Minister for Education, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, 32 line 1, the minister shall, in consultation with the board, do need to insert end by legislative instrument. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, withdrawn.
Very well, very well. Because this appears to be the standard agreed rendition. Honourable members, I will put a question on clause 32. As many as in favor of clause 32 say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 32 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 33.
Interpretation.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment.
Honourable members, I will then consider it page by page. Page 21. Interpretation, page 21. Any proposed amendment? Page 22. Page 23. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, definition for sports appears twice. Okay, Mr. Speaker, I think one is with an S and one is without an S. I don't know.
Which page?
Page 22 has sport, means an organized physical activity or competitive event involving professional or amateur. And then sports means organized competitive activity involving the elite professional events. Mr. Speaker, I don't know if, because the sport is one activity and the sports is the general activity, and they are almost the same, but maybe the minister may clarify. Thank you.
Yes, Minister. Why are you defining sports different from sports?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the two words have been used in the course of the bill to give different meanings, and it is that meanings that have been captured in the interpretation column here. So we would not have any issue.
Very well. I'll put a question on clause 33. As many as are in favor of clause 33 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 33 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 34.
Consequential amendments.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 34, consequential amendments? I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 34 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 34 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honourable members, let's come to the schedule.
Consequential amendment.
Honourable members, the schedule. Chairman of the committee, any proposed amendment to the schedule?
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, all those in favor of the schedule standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The schedule is ordered to stand part of the bill. Now, the long title.
An act to establish the Ghana Sports Fund to provide sustainable funding for sports development in the country and sports for development, to provide for the management of the fund and for related matters.
Chairman of the committee.
No advertised amendment, Mr. Speaker.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to the schedule? members, all those in favor of the schedule standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The schedule, the long title is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honourable members, this brings us to the end of consideration stage of Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025. Honourable members, motion number 31 at page 16 of today's main order paper. Minister for Sports and Recreation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I move that motion number 31 on today's order paper be taken. By doing so, I request that this bill that have just gone through consideration be read the third time. Thank you.
Honourable Minority Chief Whip.
Maybe, Speaker, I'm late, but we had spoken to the bill that will do the consideration. I thought that we could rather take the GMPC, and because we were waiting for clearance, and I got communication from, so that, Speaker, we can allow some time to elapse. We take the GMPC, and if we so please, we can go ahead and take it. But ideally, Speaker, as you do know, ideally, we should have just allowed a day to pass. So, Leader, that has been the practice. That has been the practice. Even it's captured in our orders.
Yes,
it's captured in our orders.
After the House...
I'm not dragging this.
Yes, but let's get it clear. After the House has adopted the motion to take the bill under certificate of urgency, based on Article 106(13) of the Constitution.
Speaker, I am only suggesting to the majority front bench, and that was the agreement that we did. Lilia, let's do the GMPC. Yes, let's stand up. We will do it. Why are you in a hurry? Oh, but let me finish.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, in the early hours of today, you did refer the GRPC Ghana Investment Promotion Authority Bill to the Budget Committee. Yes, it has been referred. But Mr. Speaker, if you check Order 260, 260-2G, the committee shall have referred to 8 matters that lead to state interest and public administration, and our jurisdiction to investigate and inquire into the activities of the administration of, and the institutions have been listed here. The G, any other agency under the supervision of the Office of Government Machinery. And then if you check the MTEF of 2026, Office of Government Machinery, you'll find GRPC there. So it is well placed under Committee on Public Administration and State Interest, not Budget Committee. So we can add the leadership of either finance or budget, but the first should go to State Interest and Public Administration.
Honorable member, I would then withdraw the referral and rather refer to public administration and state interests and ask that the leadership of the budget committee should,
as well as
the leadership of budget committee and trade should join them.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
And then consider it and report to the House.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
I'm most grateful, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
yes. So, Honorable Minority Chief Whip, until the report is ready, we cannot proceed with that one.
I got indication that the GMPC report is ready. So we can proceed and take item 23.
Honorable Majority Leader, is the report ready?
Speaker, that is so. It's been ready for some time. So
let me
Speaker,
have a copy.
Yeah, we have copies of it.
Yes.
And it has been loaded.
Has been loaded onto the console, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in respect of motion, yes.
Is the GMPC?
Yes, it's been loaded for days. I'll check. They will trace it for you. Mr. Speaker, in respect of motion number 23,
After Petroleum Fund,
the chairman is not available, so I pray that the vice chairman of the committee takes the report on
yes, Minority Bench, the indication is that the vice chairman.
Mr. Chairman. No, we need to know. The House needs to know. I'm not opposed, Speaker. I'm not opposing. The chairman has not been seen the whole week. I haven't seen him. I haven't mentioned anybody's name. I'm referring to the chairman of the committee. He has not been seen. Has he traveled? Okay, so tell the House, Chief Whip, tell the House where the whereabouts of the chair.
The chairman should have called him.
Speaker, my brother knows where the chairman is, but I know that they went on ECOWAS duties, and so he's not back. So is the vice who is being in charge of these matters for a couple of days now, Mr. Speaker. So he's competent. He's well appointed to do this on his behalf.
But the indication is that they are not opposed, but they need to know where the chairman is. So I will give the opportunity to the vice chairman of the committee. Yes?
To allow that, we will. But I want to remind my respected whip. We are rising tomorrow. There are matters of importance. I don't need to elucidate. I'm told that the minister was here a while ago. He has attempted to resolve the issues, but there are still outstanding matters. The House, look at the mood of the House. Members are not carrying members along. Just because we are rising tomorrow. Chief Whip, I'm just nudging you. Don't let me surprise you. Please, do the needful. Speaker, we are not opposed, but you should do the needful.
Very well. Honorable Vice Chairman of the committee, you may now move the motion number 23 on the order paper.
I beg to move that motion number 23, that this Honorable House adopt the reports of the Committee on Energy on the work program and budget of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, for the year 2026. In so doing, I present the committee reports, conclusion, and I urge the Hazard Department to capture the entire committee reports. I'm dealing with the conclusion and recommendations. Together with its partners, GMPC 2026 work program and budgets sets out at the strategic plan to strengthen the petroleum sector amidst global economic and energy transition challenges. GMPC projects revenues of $1,433.57 billion and expenditures of $1,635.79 billion, leaving a 202.22 million deficit to be converted through cash balances, loans, external supports, and the recovery of government and third-party receivables. I so moved.
Honourable members, motion, move, report presented. Any seconder? Yes, Honourable Abuaji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion for the report on the Committee on Energy on the work program and budget of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation for the year 2026. Mr. Speaker, we all know that Ghana GMPC mandate is to develop national capabilities along the entire petroleum value chain and to conduct petroleum activities in such a manner that minimizes adverse impact. And also, one of their strategic objectives is to become a strong and efficient oil and gas exploration production operator with significant financial independence by 2030. Mr. Speaker, GMPC has enumerated a lot of activities for 2026, and some of their activities is to complete their head office project, which is about 87% complete, and then their research and technology center, which is about 95% complete. Mr. Speaker, the research center happens to be the fourth of its kind in Africa. And when it is completed, GMPC will not take their subsea data analysis to outside the country again. Normally, they take it to Europe and other places. But this is going to be a center of best practice where other African countries also can access it. In 2026, GMPC will try and complete the decommissioning of Sopon, which has been a contentious issue quite some time now because the operator who was operating at the Sopon field has bolted, which it has become the burden on GMPC. And again, the much-awaited Volta Basin also is in line for 2026. Mr. Speaker, Volta Basin is going to be in about 40% land mass of Ghana. And in this case, there's a lot of inhabitants in the Volta Basin, which is an onshore project. So, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to corporate social responsibilities, GMPC will need much money for these activities because there are a lot of inhabitants along all these routes, and their environmental impact assessment also need to be carried very well. In this case, Mr. Speaker, the amount that GMPC has earmarked for 2026, Mr. Speaker, for their budget is $1,433,557 million US. Mr. Speaker, that's what is available. But the real amount is 1,635,079,000, which means there's going to be a deficit of 202,022,000 US dollars. Mr. Speaker, the government, that's GMPC participating and carried interest, which has to be given by the government, has been reduced drastically. Mr. Speaker, when you look at 2024 budget, what was given to GMPC was 142 million US dollars. Mr. Speaker, this year, as of September, only $35 million has been given to GMPC as they are participating and carried interest. And in this 2026 budget, Mr. Speaker, only 40 million US dollars has been earmarked for GMPC. Mr. Speaker, GMPC has a lot of work to do in 2026, especially with the Voltaire Basin, which is a new area with all the necessary activities that is going to happen there. So I will urge the Minister for Finance to try much as possible to top up the GMPC's allocations so that they can carry on their activities that have been earmarked for 2026. Mr. Speaker, I will urge this House to adopt this report and approve the work plan and budget for GMPC in 2026. Thank you.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for consideration of the House.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Nyakote.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute in support of the motion. Ghana's oil reserves and production are declining, having fallen sharply from the 2019 peak due to aging fields, lack of new investments, and reduced exploration. Mr. Speaker, key indicators of the decline are production drop from a high 71 million barrels in 2019 to 48 million barrels in 2024. Oil revenues have fallen by over 50%. Mr. Speaker, to arrest the decline and improve offtake, GMPC plans to undertake some projects in 2026 at the Great Jubilee Field, Tain, and Sankofa Jinyame Field, as listed on page 5 of our report. These projects include to drill 4 new development wells and complete 5 other development wells, to conduct the processing and interpretation of 580 square kilometers of ocean bottom node seismic data. With these projects, Mr. Speaker, we expect to see a recovery and return to the 2019 oil production level. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, page 9 of our report indicates the focus of GMPC. GMPC's key priorities in 2016 include arresting the oil production decline, driving oil and gas exploration and production growth, exploration drilling in the Voltaire Basin, securing gas investment, strengthening organizational capacity, and proactively engaging with stakeholders. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House to adopt the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the report. Mr. Speaker, global demand outlook indicates that the world oil demand growth is expected at 4.5% between 2026 to 2027. Mr. Speaker, whilst oil demand is growing internationally, in Ghana here, our oil production is declining. And because of that, it is important that we look at the investments that GMPC seeks to do in 2026. And some of the key activities that they want to do is to increase production to 64,300 barrels per day, and as well as gas export of 100 mm SCAF per day. To do this, Mr. Speaker, they will have to drill at least 4 wells and complete 5 development wells in 2026. Mr. Speaker, one of the key programs that GMPC wants to undertake that I am particularly interested in is the Tema Gas City project and the Tema Enclave gas distribution pipelines. A feasibility study that was done in 2023 showed that the Tema Enclave gas demand alone is about 39 mm SCAF. And if GMPC is able to do these projects, it will help it to realize the revenue that it seeks to use in developing some of its fields and also supporting its activities. Mr. Speaker, I'm also particularly interested in the LNG terminal acquisition and the research and technology centers that GMPC is developing. And I believe if we support GMPC in this direction, they will be able to increase the oil production, get the right investments into oil production, and increase our oil production. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to support the report and submit that the House adopts it. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to speak in support of the adoption of the report by GMPC. Right Honourable Speaker, this report highlights, this report, Mr. Speaker, reflects a detailed examination, a detailed strategy by GMPC, Right Honourable Speaker, to revive the petroleum sector. Mr. Speaker, amid the issues and the ambition of this government to transit in transition of energy, that is, Mr. Speaker, from dominance on liquefied petroleum, Mr. Speaker, to gas production. Mr. Speaker, strong emphasis, Mr. Speaker, is placed on the Voltairean Basin, Mr. Speaker, and the biggest potentials that this possesses, Mr. Speaker, for this country is very much significant. And Mr. Speaker, the GHCB 01 block, which, Mr. Speaker, in all seeks to arrest production decline and also, Mr. Speaker, rebuild reserves. Mr. Speaker, in this report, Mr. Speaker, is targeted, Mr. Speaker, targeted intervention in our matured fields. Mr. Speaker, we're talking about Jubilee, Tain, and Sankofa, to, Mr. Speaker, to sustain output and efficiency. Mr. Speaker, in the report, it's mentioned of the research center. And Mr. Speaker, this is an awesome project that will bring revenue to this country. Because, Mr. Speaker, everything with research ensures that efficiency and optimal production is done. Mr. Speaker, there's been a lot of issues regard to funding gaps. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I'm so happy that in this work plan, Mr. Speaker, there is a strategized, well-planned strategy, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that receivables and borrowings and also prudent financial management is embedded in this gas production. Mr. Speaker, I'm so happy about the salt pond decommissioning project. Mr. Speaker, there's been a lot of talk about it on the environmental hazard that he possesses. And that is why in this report, Mr. Speaker, the attempt by GMPC to finalize this project is laudable. Mr. Speaker, we visited the RAT Center that is being put up on the Spitters Road, and Mr. Speaker, I must applaud the management of GMPC for such an initiative that, Mr. Speaker, will yield a lot of benefits to gas exploration and production. So, Mr. Speaker, in order to shorten my words, I'm so happy to have risen, Mr. Speaker, to support this report, and I appeal to the House to approve and adopt this report. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Daku Mensah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in supporting the adoption of this report, Mr. Speaker, there are a few issues that I wish to bring to your attention. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the global figures for the budget revenues of 1.4 and the expenditure of 1.6 billion, it starts clearly with a deficit of 202 million, which clearly supposes that the recent amendments of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act is having its own toll on the budget of GMPC. Mr. Speaker, we know that GMPC is one of the key strategic revenue assets of this country. And if they have such deficits, it means that a lot of their work programs cannot be sustained. Mr. Speaker, if you take the bulk of the issues they want to address next year, including their head office, their technology center, and then major projects like the first drilling in the Bhutan Basin. Clearly, I believe that it is proper that government reconsiders its decision of reducing the amount that was going to them, the 30% to 15%, by restoring it back so that GMPC will get the money to do the drilling. Mr. Speaker, one of the key issues we need to appreciate is that the Bhutan Basin covers 40% of, almost 40% of the land mass of this country. And after the seismic, I believe that now we are seeing potential. And we should never limit GMPC for going all out to drill and get more reserves, oil reserves for this country. Mr. Speaker, I believe that we'll be doing ourselves in if we don't keep spending. I mean, Mr. Speaker, all over the world, the riskier the agenda, the better the possibility of getting more revenues for this country. Mr. Speaker, it took Cosmos and the Talos to get into offshore and discover oil that has protected us up to this time. In fact, if you take even the free SHS, a bulk of the budget had been coming from the oil and gas. Mr. Speaker, if you also look at the budget that was made for the foundation, GMPC Foundation, I believe that it is still inadequate. Last year, they promised to give them 8. They paid only 5. This year, the plan is to give them 16. So clearly, there's a balance of 3 million that we need to subtract from the 16. And now that we are going to the Bhutan Basin with that huge space, and I believe that last year I made mention of the fact that even those of us at the coastal areas that we don't have the oil processes and the gas processes online or onshore, we have a lot of difficulty. Now you are going to drill onshore. Clearly, the amount of money we need to build the social capital for GMPC for them to go there and drill, if we are not able to do that, Mr. Speaker, it's going to worry us a lot. Mr. Speaker, if you take the deficit issue that came up, GMPC itself had promised to start looking at receivables from a lot of companies and agencies that actually owe them. And one of the agencies that they are clear in their mind that owes them is the government of Ghana, because of the enclave rules that we ask them to do on behalf of government. Mr. Speaker, I'm very particular about this, because if you go to a lot of the Nzima areas where we've cast sword and the rest, GMPC is not paying and the contractors are just not on site. It's because we have virtually made them feel that the deal government has done with them will never be paid. So they are also failing to pay the contractors to do the work for our own people. Now, look at this similar situation happening in the Votenyan Basin. Naturally, if we don't get our acts together, we are going to have a lot of problems. Mr. Speaker, if we take a lot of the rules that we have in this country, like LPG, gas, and the rest, we carry them on our roads, we transport them on our roads. And if you take some of the roads on the Libo Road all the way to Apimenim and the rest, we are having small problems on the roads, even though it's not even up to 16 years. Mr. Speaker, I believe that in the same way we are asking for concrete routes for the Accra Kumasi Expressway and the rest, I believe that the Takrade to Accra Road should also have a concrete surfacing so that it can also last for 50 years. Mr. Speaker, I also do believe that the foundation's monies should be paid to them as quickly as possible, because the foundation owes so many people, including AstroTurf contractors, road contractors, school building contractors, and all that. Mr. Speaker, I therefore believe that it is very, very, very important that the money that was reduced from 30% to 15% is an issue the Minister of Finance needs to revisit and make sure that they are paid back so that they can be able to finance a lot of their activities and making sure that they can go for it. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity. And I believe that now that the world is looking at ESGs, all these projects that GMPC is doing, they should be looking at the environmental, social, and governance issues, covering them, especially the Votenyan Basin, so that we can all move forward as a country. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I'm unfit to speak to the report and to relate to a few concerns on the GMPC. Oh, I've just started. Speaker, at the risk of being repetitive, my senior colleague has contextualized the issues as relayed by the report. I've read the report and the issue teased out, taking time to look at them. Speaker, I think for a long time, Parliament has been overly soft, so to speak, in terms of our oversight over the GMPC. GMPC comes to this house with their work program. We go through the report and we adopt the report, and so what? It ends there. A full cycle ensures before another report is brought. And that is why it's necessitating the finance minister, even though it's not justifiable, the finance minister's so moto decision to reduce the carried and participatory interest support from some 30% to 15%. Why? Because the GMPC themselves have not been participatory and transparent enough. It's the reason why. Even though it's something that cannot be justified, I think the Energy Committee going to the future must get a bit more critical on the GMPC. They come here and they give us summary report on CSR activities undertaken over years. And you only see a bullet of programs they claim they have undertaken. Yes, we can credit them with some credit
a few AstroTurf here and there. But as to whether they bring to this house a detailed report of their corporate social responsibility is a question we should be asking ourselves. It's a huge concern. So the finance minister is also looking for revenue. And he gets a low. Dr. Park, I have not invited you. Speaker, so the minister is looking for low-hanging fruit. Unfortunately, he found one with the GMPC. Let me make pleadings. We, as much as we want to support the adoption of this report, Speaker, there must be further engagement. A slash from 30% to 15% is just not impressive at all. Besides, data, geological data and the seismic data that are out there point to the conclusion that Ghana has huge deposits of hydrocarbons. Yes, the data speaks to it, that we have huge prospect of hydrocarbons. So when you are reducing the carried and participatory interest fund, what it means is that you are limiting the activities, the exploratory activities of the GMPC. We are not in the 80s. In the 80s, where the risks were so huge and corporate bodies and individuals were not motivated to go into oil exploration. Now, they have blazed the trail. The potential is there. Confirmation, data, all is there. So we cannot, as my senior colleague, the Honorable Kobie Champo said, we must impress and convince the finance minister to be charitable a bit. At least, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them a second chance. So that we cannot take away the money. Taking away, slashing from 30% to 15% is something we'll have to look at again. What it means is that the GMPC will be pushed. Leader, it will still not be enough. The GMPC will be pushed to the wall where they will only resort to borrowing to do exploration. It doesn't make economic sense to go and borrow to do exploration where you have funds generated by the same body. So that will be my first pleading. Unfortunately, the minister is not here. I wish we can get the minister. Chief Whip, Speaker, can you impress upon the Chief Whip to get the minister, the finance minister? He must listen to this conversation. The minister is not here. His deputy is not here. On this important, GMPC is an important statement. You know. So, Speaker, that would be again. If you look at the GMPC Act, the GMPC money mandated to reduce the negative impact of environmental destruction. Environmental destruction, in contrast to environmental destruction, is something we are mandated by the own Act. Clearly, if you do a profile of their environmental activities and intervention, negative. Of course, they do the impact assessment, environmental impact assessment. They do it, and then the outcome in terms of what they should do, they don't do it. The GMPC doesn't do it, and it's worrying. The ranking is here. If what I'm saying is not true, tell me, Vice Chairman, if I have your attention. So we must devote some attention to the GMPC. So that there's a lot of potential at the GMPC, and GMPC can generate a lot of revenue to fund a lot of, even your big push, the big push that you pride yourself so much about. GMPC can be a good source of revenue to support the big push. So we must get a bit clinical and be able to deal with these matters. Now, because you are reducing the carried and participatory interest, what is resulting is that there's a huge, your deficit is widening. GMPC's deficit, annual deficit, is widening. 2005, they recorded 124.7, some $124.78 million as deficit. Then 2026, they are anticipating 214.9 1.14 million as deficit. So by the year, the deficit is widening by the year. And GMPC is not a body that should be recording such deficit. So I dare say that even though we would want to encourage members to support the adoption of this report, the aspects of the funding, the necessary oxygen that is supposed to prosecute exploration activities of GMPC being reduced, it cannot be countenanced by this House. And the minister is one of our own. So I implore you to give some consequential directives that the committee must go back. We will adopt the report consequent of the committee going back to sit with the finance minister for if they cannot give us 30%, at least they should give us 20 to 25%. He cannot take away everything and just leave out only 15%, which will undermine the exploration activities of GMPC. Are we saying that we don't have more hydrocarbons? In fact, there is more discovery of hydrocarbons across the length and breadth of this country, and we cannot limit the exploration activities of GMPC. Because you find me very emotional because I don't get the logic. I don't get the logic why the minister is taking away all these funds. We don't have hydrocarbons at Adrechi, but I know in the Volta region more discoveries have been made. More discoveries of hydrocarbons have been made in the Volta region. And we should be seen to be exploiting it to the benefits, also to support your big push. Anytime you mention big push, you see the road minister is happy. So, Speaker, these will be my observations. And Speaker, I want to pray you. I know, Speaker, you are not a fan of giving consequential directives. But for this one, Speaker, I beg you in the name of God, I beg you, the Energy Committee must engage the Finance Minister further. My problem is that, Majority Leader, you're not paying attention to me. I'm saying that their revenue generation, the minister is taking away, is reducing it from 30% to 15%, and is taking the money to the consolidated fund. Now, this fund is what they use in doing exploration. Now, because the seismic data shows that we have more potential of more hydrocarbons, they should be doing more exploration to explore and discover more oil. And therefore, discovery of more oil means we'll get more revenue. So I know I have convinced you. So, Energy Committee, the ranking is here. The Vice Chairman is here. They should go back and engage the Finance Minister. At least, if they can give them even 30% or 20%, that should be enough. But to slash away such a huge amount will not be acceptable to those of us on this House. And Speaker, I pray you that you accede to my call and help to salvage GMPC, because the fundamental reason for the formation of GMPC is exploration. If I'm wrong, somebody to tell me. For exploration. And if their fundamental role and function is going to be curtailed, then we must as well as a House pay attention to it and make sure we deal with this matter. With these words, Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Honourable members, why are you all up at the same time?
I've just concluded.
Yes, very well. Yes, Honourable Richard Achampo.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much to support the approval of the work plan of GMPC for the year 2026. Mr. Speaker, I was not getting the drift of the Minority Chief Whip. On one breath, he was blaming GMPC. Another breath, blaming the Ministry of Finance for slashing their foundation resources up to 15%. The issue at stake is the resources allocated to them. What were they using the money for? So we are calling the new leadership of GMPC to change course. Yes, we are resetting GMPC, Mr. Speaker. GMPC has constructed more astroturf in this country than any other institution. Is that their mandate?
For instance, it's a 1.3.
All over the places. You see that you don't have, but your friends have it. Mr. Speaker, more than 50 years that we heard about Votain Basin project. As we speak, nothing has been done about it. Every year there's allocation to Votain Basin project. But still, do you have oil from Votain Basin? Instead of drilling new wells so that we can get value for money, they are just constructing astroturfs. Astroturfs. And after the rain sets in, Mr. Speaker, about 70% of them have been washed off. We can't even find them. So we are resetting GMPC. The new administration. So, Mr. Speaker, yesterday we considered other government obligations, and then as part of the EMA funds, an allocation of 2,626,603,460 Ghana cedis has been allocated to GMPC. And the minister made a statement that if they come and make a good case about the Votain Basin development, another allocation can be made for them. But as we speak now, Chief Whip, we will not give them the money to go and construct astroturfs. It is not their mandate. So the committee should come back to the House and show us that they've done their oversight work, they've monitored their activities, and now we have a new GMPC in place so that another allocation in the mid-year can be given to them. But the old GMPC, that old story, will not repeat it. So the minister is trying to make sure that we put our money where our mouth is. You can't give what you don't have. So, no, this is a reality. So the 2.6 billion has been allocated to them. Let's make sure that they use it for the purpose of which it has been allocated to. By the end of the day, we can come together as a house and make a good case for them. But the ranking member was just dancing around the issue as if that he's not aware of the matter. You know the problems. You know. So we are researching GMPC. So 2026, a new story will be told that we have a new GMPC and more allocation will be made to GMPC. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I have had the opportunity of reading the report of the committee, and I find it very strange to hear from the Deputy Whip on the majority front bench argue that the decision by GMPC Foundation as part of its corporate social responsibility to promote sports and also inculcate the culture of reading is not a priority. Mr. Speaker, over the years, GMPC Foundation took steps to construct libraries to encourage many youths to have access to reading materials, study, and to improve on their reading skills. Mr. Speaker, we know a lot of our youths are involved in sports. Community sporting activities are of great concern to stakeholders like we, the political leaders. Mr. Speaker, even the Ghana Sports Fund Bill, which is being considered by this House. Mr. Speaker, if you read this bill critically, you realize that this bill is looking at ways of raising sufficient fund to support sporting activities. Therefore, if GMPC in the past took this mandate as a major interest, why would you say that because you are in a new dispensation, you are going to do away with the promotion of sports? AstroTurfs, when they are constructed in communities, are not for a particular political party. And we are aware that within the last 8 years, GMPC construction of AstroTurfs benefited many constituencies. And it had nothing to do with who belongs to which constituency or not. So, Mr. Speaker, it is very strange. It is very strange to hear that deliberately the Ghanaian youth who depends on this AstroTurf for athletics, for sporting activities, for regular exercise is being denied. Mr. Speaker, the member made a very strange submission. He says that AstroTurfs are being washed away by rain. Mr. Speaker, this House of Parliament, for partisan reasons, a member cannot just get up and make a sweeping statement as if same is well founded in any serious fact. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that as this government has introduced a bill in this house to promote sports, the same government is denying our communities of sporting facilities. And the member from the majority side is proud of this, that they have cancelled the foundation's vision of promoting sporting activities in our various communities. Mr. Speaker, the youth of this country, I believe, are listening and they have heard. The youth in our various communities. Of course, government cannot construct a stadium for a community in Winneba. But at least if GMPC Foundation had as part of its corporate social responsibility to support a community with an AstroTurf. Today, the government is saying that community sporting facilities are no more a priority. Today, this government is saying that AstroTurfs are being cancelled. Today, this government is saying that corporate social responsibility, which is a platform, which is an avenue to support activities that will help community development, can no more be a priority. And it was said by no less a person than Honorable Achampong, who speaks from the majority front bench. Mr. Speaker, he was saying,
Honorable Minority Leader, ordinarily,
Mr. Speaker,
once you mention his name,
Mr. Speaker,
I will give the floor to Honorable
I
Achampong.
refer to his submission.
Honorable Achampong, you have the floor.
Talk to your man.
Mr. Speaker, in my submission, I said this in the context. I said it is not in their mandate to do those things. if you check the sports budget, 50 astroturfs have been allocated. 50 in the sports budget. So GMPC has a mandate to develop the Voten Basin, to drill more wells. That was the point I was making. So you can't invite the youth against me by saying that. So, Mr. Speaker, I did not say those things that the minority did. So that part should have come from our records. And you must apologize.
Yes.
And apologize to your good friend. We came to this house together. The two of us started our parliamentary work from the finance committee. We've traveled a long way. The rest is history.
Honorable Minority Leader, he said he never said those things. Having given him the floor. So take his concern on board and proceed.
Speaker, the records will have it without any contest that the last 8 years, i.e. the Akufo-Addo government, encouraged GMPC to get certain priority project done. And through GMPC Foundation, libraries and astroturfs were very key on the agenda. That today, in this report, astroturfs are no more a priority. Mr. Speaker, GMPC constructed clinics and schools. Mr. Speaker, today we are being told that they are no more a priority. But Mr. Speaker, whilst communities are being denied of these important social amenities, the report which is before us states as follows, quote, Mr. Speaker, revenue is being projected at $1.43 billion as against an expenditure of $1.6 billion, resulting in a deficit of over $200 million. Mr. Speaker, I thought the apostles of reset had told us that things were being done differently. How can you spend what you don't have? Your revenue is being projected at a certain figure, 1.4, yet you want to spend 1.6. Meanwhile, you are cutting expenditure on infrastructure that will go to the benefit of the ordinary Ghanaian, because people want tangible benefit from the oil revenue. If you construct a school, if you construct a library, if you construct an astroturf, if you construct a clinic, you will be helping the community. Yet all of these are being denied. If you read the report from what he's saying, that these are no more the priorities, you are not going to focus on all of these. So the expenditure that exceeds revenue, what exactly are you going to spend on? Mr. Speaker, we are concerned. We are very concerned. And if the deputy whip decides to be proud of the decision by the government to take away these social benefits, and he comes to say that under reset they have done away with these projects, and he says so proudly, he's not looking at the social costs to the nation. Mr. Speaker, history will judge their actions. I rest my case.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I urge colleagues to approve and adopt the report of the Committee on Energy on the 2026 work program of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC. So, Speaker, what we have before us is not a budget. What we have before us is not a budget. It is the work program. The budget itself has been approved already. What we are looking at is the work program. And highlighted in the conclusion of the committee is this, and everybody must pay attention to this. Together with its partners, GNPC's 2026 work program and budget sets out a strategic plan to strengthen the petroleum sector amid global economic and energy transition challenges. GNPC projects revenues of 1.433 billion and expenditures of 1.635 billion, leaving a 202 million deficit. So, Mr. Speaker, when you are established as an organization with a core mandate, and in implementing your mandate, you have a deficit of $202 million. As a wise administrator, if you have to make cuts, where will you be making the cuts? Will you be making the cuts in the areas related to your core mandate, or you will be making the cuts in the areas that do not relate to your core mandate? Rational leadership will make a cut in the area that is not their core mandate. And what is not their core mandate? The area of corporate social responsibility. Mr. Speaker, when you argue as if it is the only place that ordinary citizens can benefit in terms of oil revenues, that is also not true. Because the oil revenues have been used to support the budget. Indeed, in this chamber just last week, it was argued that it was out of the oil revenues that we were funding free senior higher education. So the oil revenues are already financing social sector issues such as education, health, housing, and etc. So let us not create the impression that it is from this corporate social allocation in GIPC's budget that social issues will be financed. So when my colleague argues that the organization is being reset to focus on its core mandate and not to go spending monies in areas that are not related to its responsibility, he is not suggesting that the youth should not have astroturfs. He is also not suggesting that clinics that were built by GNPC are not important. But GNPC must learn to focus on what its core mandate is. And that is what the minister seeks to do by realigning resources so that more resources will go into its core mandate of exploration, of supporting the extraction and production of oil so that Ghana can rake in more revenues from its oil sector. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst I will join those and the committee in urging that a lot more should be put into corporate social responsibility, I do not want it presented as if the argument for pushing GNPC to focus on its core corporate responsibility is an argument against supporting the youth of this country with astroturfs. Mr. Speaker, as indicated, this government is taking measures to ensure that resources are available to the sports sector
to invest in infrastructure. Indeed, today, we just took the sports fund bill through the consideration stage, and we explored other avenues for raising funds to support in sports infrastructure investment. So we are taking steps in a more sustainable way to finance astroturfs across the country, to finance stadium construction, to finance general infrastructure for athletics and all the other sporting activities. So we are on course in that direction. But we also want GNPC to focus on its core mandate. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I urge colleagues to adopt the report, but I also want to add my voice to the committee which says that we should also in the future consider upping the allocation to the GNPC Foundation. The foundation does not only do astroturfs, it does clinics. We may not think that astroturfs is what they should be doing, but at least clinics and others in the communities where they are operating will also create the kind of social capital that they need to be able to work effectively in those communities. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I urge colleagues to adopt the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honourable members. At the conclusion of the debate, the question is as many as are in favour of the motion say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Yes, Majority Leader.
Addendum 2. No, addendum not 2. 1. This is 2. Oh, you have this. 1 addendum. Yeah, addendum, Mr. Speaker. We may take item
2.
Item 2. Yes, we may lay the reports.
Honourable members, order paper addendum, item numbered 2. Chairman of the committee.
Report of the Committee on Education on the Simon Jodong Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies Amendment Bill 2025. Report of the
Take all together.
Report of the Committee on Education on the C.K. Tedem University of Technology and Applied Sciences Amendment Bill 2025. Report of the Committee on Education on the Akintinapia Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development Amendment Bill 2025.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to request the Minister to provide a short explanation to... Yes, I need that. I mean, you had raised this matter of changing. The whole essence of this is to change the name of the university.
Honourable Minority Leader, it is the person who presented the report that should give a short explanation. It's not the minister.
Mr. Speaker, but he is leaving. Mr. Speaker, the committee chair is leaving. That is why I wanted the minister, since he is a sponsor.
Yes, but I do not have the power to mention a person other than the one who presented the report to give the explanation. We have to go by the rules.
Mr. Speaker, since the sector minister is here, and since he is the sponsor of the bill, may I humbly plead that in the absence of the chairman and the vice chair, the minister assist this house with this, because Mr. Speaker, as soon as I got up to make the application, the chairman of the committee rushed out. The cameras would bear me out. He rushed out. The vice chair of the committee, I have not cited him in the chamber. If he's here, then that's fine. If the vice chairman is, I said I have not cited him. Yes, I should. Okay, now if it is so, if you by using he rushed out amount to imputing improper motive, then I'm saying that as soon as he left immediately. I got up with the application. So, Mr. Speaker, the vice chair, I'm told the vice chair is here. So, in the absence of the chairman, let the vice chair do the needful.
Honourable members, I strongly believe that after the presentation of the report of the committee, we'll come to a stage where the principles will be debated, and at that point, the request being made by the minority leader will be acceded to. The bills have been introduced earlier, so if it were to be at that point that he's making this request, would have acceded to the request. Therefore, honourable members, the papers presented by the chairman of the committee in item numbered 2 at page 1 of the order paper addendum have been duly presented, and they are for distribution to honorable members. Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I believe that we can now deal with motion number 31 on the original order paper, Mr. Speaker, if it pleases you.
Yes, Minister for Sports and Recreation, motion number 31.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Speaker, I rise to move that motion number 31 on today's order paper be taken.
Yes, Honourable Teacher.
Speaker, the prior agreement, and with your blessings, were that we should do other businesses. Of course, we are not opposed to taking it, but other businesses should be prosecuted. Then eventually, we will take it. You have other businesses to be taken. Chief Whip, navigate properly and let's do all those businesses. This one, we have finished everything. It's third reading. We can take it. You cannot rush Parliament. Honorable Kofi Adams, you cannot rush us. You have qualified for the World Cup. Yes, we know, but you cannot rush us.
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, I don't take it to be Sports Minister rushing Parliament.
Speaker, he's my friend.
Honorable members, motion move any seconder.
He hasn't moved the motion. No, Speaker, with respect, he hasn't moved the motion.
Motion move any seconder.
You have not moved the motion. He didn't move the motion.
Allow him to move the
motion. Motion moved any seconder. I have listened to the motion moved. Any seconder.
Did he move the motion? We'll call for answer. We'll call for answer tomorrow. I pleaded with you and you just sat down. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Hey.
All members, motion move any seconder.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
All members, motion move and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. I will therefore put a question. As many as are in favor of the motion number 31 at page 16 of the main order paper, say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted.
An act to establish the Ghana Sports Fund to provide sustainable funding for sports development in the country and sports for development, to provide for the management of the fund and for related matters.
Honourable members, the Ghana Sports Fund Bill 2025 is duly read for the third time and pass. Yes, majority chief whip.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have one more report to take. That is the report of the House Committee, and we had agreed that we'll do that at closed sitting. And so, Mr. Speaker, if it pleases you, we want to do that. No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So, want to use the closed sitting time.
Yes, minority.
Well, Speaker, my friend who is the chair of the House Committee had given notification, but Order 60, Speaker, calls on you for this to be done. If it has to be done at closed sitting in respect of Order 60, then it has to be done that the Speaker may in consultation with the House and have a regard to blah, 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 blah. So I guess we have to relate to the Speaker to direct us if we are coming under Order 60. Leader, you may have to reference. But I'm not opposed to that. Oh, then we can proceed. Speaker, we are not opposed. We can proceed.
Very well.
Speaker, if you recall, we did, in fact, this was to have been taken yesterday, but the business of the House was such that it could not be accommodated. And so we should do appropriation. Okay, Mr. Speaker, come. The report is ready.
Yes, let me hear you.
Speaker, the indication is that the report of the Finance Committee is ready. So we want to lay, we would love to lay that before we do the closed sitting. Speaker, that will be motion number 36 on the regular order paper. Motion number 36. No, laying.
Motion number 36 cannot be laying. That is second reading.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. No, it's just come. It just come. Oh, wait. So, Mr. Speaker, we the order paper addendum 3. Yeah, addendum 3. So, Mr. Speaker, we want to pray that we take the item on order paper addendum 3.
Yes.
Speaker, I don't have order paper addendum 3. I have addendum paper, I have addendum 2. I had yesterday cautioned my colleagues that the printing of, you see, order paper addendum 2.
Honorable, they are bringing you a copy, Speaker, and it's also on the console.
Speaker, I want to pray with you. You can listen to me. Speaker, this is addendum 3. I don't have a problem. But you could have added addendum 3 to addendum 2.
The addendum 3 is not the console.
Why do you have to print?
You indicated yesterday that you are no environmentalist.
Speaker, would you hear me out?
I am just supporting you. That you indicated clearly you are environmentalist.
Speaker, I'm not opposed.
So
you should proceed and lay.
Very well. Presentation of papers. Order paper addendum 3. Chairman of the committee.
Reports of the Budget Committee on Appropriation Number 2 Bill 2025.
Report has been duly presented and it is for distribution to honorable members. Honorable members, on this note, I would beg to take Yes, let me hear you, Honorable Chief Whip. Yes. Yes. It was late, referred to the committee. The committee is now bringing their report. And the report must be distributed for members to go through, then we can do justice to it. Then on this note, honorable members, I will take few minutes suspension. Members, the House is temporarily suspended.